All right, ranking Opeth's discography. But before we do that, if there's anything you guys want to see me rank, put it down in the comments. I have some I need to go through. And just so everybody knows, I do listen to everything in the band's catalog that you asked me to rank. So it's a fair ranking. Some of them I know the albums better than others, but if I don't, I listen to everything in the whole catalog. So Opeth, let's get into it. I'm probably gonna get some flack for putting Damnation last, but this was supposed to be released at the same time as Deliverance, and it was supposed to be a double album, a heavy album and a soft album. But the record company didn't want that, so we got Damnation as a standalone album. It's a fine prog rock album, but it is way too soft. It needs the dichotomy that you find with Opeth stuff of heavy and soft, and this is all soft. So it's a fine album, but I don't ever come back and re-listen to this. All right, next up, 2011 Heritage. This was the first full-on foray into prog rock that Opeth did, not including Damnation, because that was supposed to be a double album. Something about this, it's not very cohesive. Again, Opeth does not have a bad record. There are songs on here that feel like filler. A lot of influence from Rainbow, especially on that track, Slither. Marrow of the Earth is a very cool, softer acoustic-driven piece, so that's the standout from this album. Next up, the second of the foray into straight prog rock. This is more of a harder sound, but no growling vocals, all clean vocals. There's a song on here called Goblin that reminds me of a Frank Zappa-esque tune. Again, not a bad album, but for me, I need the growls. I need the heavier vocals. Next up, Sorceress. This is the best of the three that came out, one right after the other, of the prog rock stuff. The solos on here are fantastic. The title track, Sorceress, is very good. Could do with some heavier vocals, but that is the best song on this album. Next up, the debut record, Orchid. I feel like a lot of people are going to have this ranked higher. For me, the production kind of holds it back. I know it was 95 and they were just starting out, but the production is less than everything else they've ever released. It's very much more black metal and death metal than into the prog metal that they were known for the next 4 or 5 albums. It is not at all a bad record. It's a very good record. With that being said, it's just the production kind of holds it back for me. Next up, the second album that they ever released, Morning Rise. The Black Rose and Mortar is a 20-minute fucking epic. This thing, that song rules. This has 6 songs and it's 66 minutes long. That's fantastic. I love long proggy songs. The production's starting to get very much better into the realm of what they released later, and you can tell the clean vocals are getting worked on. The clean vocals really start to shine in this album. All right, now we have Deliverance. Again, this was supposed to be released as a double album with Damnation, this being the heavy, death prog metal side, and then Damnation being the clean side. The record company didn't want that. So we're doing this one as a standalone. The title track, Deliverance, is a standout from this one. It's like 13 minutes of pure insanity. The problem is that the rest of the album doesn't live up to how great that song is. So the solos on here are getting much more melodic than they were before this. But yeah, that song, Deliverance, perfect. Next up, In Cauda Venenum. The cool thing about this is they released an English version and a Swedish version, and they're not exactly the same lyrics. They didn't just translate the Swedish version into English. It's different lyrics, but the theme and the idea of the lyrics are the same. Obviously, with this being ranked so high, it's the best to me of the clean vocal prog rock era of Opeth. And it's heavier. It's the Dignity's got a really great. I don't know what part of the song it is, but it's got a really great part in it. Overall, very cool record. Next up, Ghost Reveries. This was released after what should have been the double album. It's more prog rock leaning, but it definitely has its moments. Baying of the Hounds and The Grand Conjuration, two perfect songs. My Arms, Your Hearse. This sets the stage for what's to come with Blackwater Park. This is a concept album that's written from the point of view of a ghost. What's neat about this is even the instrumentals have lyrics written out for them. So it's a wild thing. Next up, Still Life. It's very, very melodic. There's really, really amazing clean vocals on here. Serenity Painted Death is a superb, absolutely superb song. Next up, Blackwater Park. This has the most approachable sound of the prog metal side of Opeth. Just about every song on here has some type of massive chorus hook thing going to it that has a mass appeal sound to it, but still keeping their heavy roots. And number 1, Watershed. This is a perfect album for me. There's a Hammond organ solo in Burden that is ridiculous. The guitar solos are ridiculous too, but that Hammond organ solo is phenomenal. But let's be clear, everything that was released from 2008 backwards is really, really, really good. So all of those records, it's hard to kind of place them. I don't know if people feel the same way I do about Watershed, but to me, it's fucking perfect.